Today we're going to look at Psalm 27 and receive a little bit of wisdom for the new season today. Psalm 27, a few verses from Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek Him in His temple. For in the day of trouble He will keep me safe in His dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of His sacred tent and set me high upon a rock. What an optimistic and a confident declaration of David about his God. I mean, when you read a psalm like this, it fills you with this confidence that is, it's like a booster, right? To us, a spirit booster. If you can really understand what David is singing at this point of time, you feel really, really good about this psalm. And if you are dejected, and feel sad, this kind of gives you that confidence boost. But David has always been not like that. David was rejected in his life. He comes out of a sense of being rejected. You remember the time Samuel went searching for the new king, and David's father invited every one of David's brother except for David. David knew what rejection means. He probably grew up with the sense of rejection from the very childhood up until the point Samuel anointed him to be the next king. I don't know what you grew up with, but I grew up as a very shy person, as a person who is intimidated by standing in front of people and talking, and that scared me a lot. One of the things that I prayed to God in Bible school was, don't ask, I do not want to become a preacher. That was one of my biggest prayers to God, because I was afraid of standing up and speaking in front of people, let alone a large group of gathering. Even in front of 2 or 3 people, I would stumble to find my way to talk. I was shy. It came from a sense of being abandoned as a child, being rejected as a child, and being a person who always thought I'm not accepted. I felt I was not normal. Most of us don't have confidence because of something like that. A sense of rejection, a sense of abandonment, a sense of helplessness, inadequacy keep us from enjoying the new season with new things. Even though we have a change of heart, and even though we consciously work on trying to look at the world from the perspective of God, we still feel fear engulfing us in keeping us from exploring new territories in our life. We don't have that confidence, and that's what David was talking about in Psalm 27, and then describing in his description of his confidence in God. He also gave away the secret which helped him to gain that kind of confidence. And here are the 2 things that I've learned from this psalm that I believe are necessary for us to do in order to gain confidence, a new level of confidence, in order to enjoy new seasons in our life. The first thing is this, that David chose to spend time in the presence of God. The same David who's rejected by his own father, in Psalm 27 verses 10, in fact, he says, even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will hold me close, he says. You have always been my helper. You've always been my savior. Even my parents have rejected me, but you have. How did that sense of belonging grew within the heart of David? It's because you spend time in the presence of God. Spending time in the presence of God, just like how you're doing right now, is necessary for us to boost our confidence levels, for us to reach new levels of courage and confidence in order to move forward to do new things in our lives. So, how much time do you actually spend in the presence of God is a question to think about. You see, in the presence of God, not only you gain confidence, you receive healing. His healing. He makes you complete. There is a wholeness that comes in when we spend time in the presence of God. It is in the presence of God that we can pour out our hearts and know that He hears our prayers and accepts us in spite of our weaknesses. Then, like David, we can also sing, He restores my soul. In fact, that's what happens in the presence of God. So that's one secret. There's another secret. The other secret is this, that David knew who he belongs to. My father and mother forsook me, but you, oh my Lord, you held me close. David knew who he is in his God. You see, that expression itself is of a son who is enjoying his divine Father's presence. So while he knows that the presence of God is the confidence booster, he also knows the knowledge of who his God is and who he is in his God is a confidence booster. We reach to newer levels, explore newer things with more courage if we know who we are, and then if we choose to spend in the presence of God. You see, that's what helped David to overcome his sense of rejection. That's what helped me to overcome the sense of being abandoned and rejected. That's what would help you to overcome whatever is keeping you from gaining confidence. And it'll help you to grow to a newer level if you spend time in the presence of God and have the knowledge of who you are in God. You see, I believe we can all walk with the same confidence that David walked with, as we looked at Psalm 27. As I believe, we can also conquer new territories in our lives with more boldness, more courage, more confidence, without fear, if we can allow God to deal with our fears in His presence, if we can allow God to heal our hurts in His presence. We'll be able to enter into a new season with a greater level of confidence, knowing who we are in God, who our God is, and what He can do for us. Take some time to thank God for healing you from your past hurts and insecurities. But if there are still some hurts and insecurities that you need to deal with, spend time in the presence of God so that He can bring healing and transform your insecurity into confidence. What are those some emotional baggages that you are still carrying around this morning? This is the time to bring those emotional baggages, lay it at the altar so that you can gain confidence to move forward. Do you have the confidence that you are richly blessed, highly favored, and deeply loved by a wonderful God? You can only gain that confidence in the presence of God. May you choose to spend time with Him today. God bless you.